Hi guys, Michiana Fisherman here. Had a lot of questions on how to hook up the trick switch that I put on my Cub Cadet for starting. So I thought I'd do a little explanation for you. So this is the switch that goes bad. The contact that comes that's underneath this, it just simply wears out. And this is what you have to hold down to make the starter engage. So when this quits working, you can disconnect it from the relay, and then you can put a switch on to engage the starter. It will still turn everything on like it's supposed to by holding it, but it won't engage the starter, and that's why you have to add a secondary switch. Now, one reason for doing it that way is that the safeties will all still operate as they're intended. The only thing you're doing, instead of holding the button down and trying to get the starter to run, is you're gonna make the starter run without that worn out switch. If you wanna buy a switch for $120 and you think that's easier, go ahead, rip it out and plug in a new one. But if you want to just quit messing with that stupid thing, then you buy the switch like I'm going to show you. So I went to the tractor supply store and I bought one of these. I made an angled bracket, and you can see down here, it's just an angled bracket. It's kind of a heavy duty momentary switch. That's very important. You just push it down. It only works when you're pushing it. When you let go, it's off. So you're going to make the connection instead of the worn out switch. You're going to make the connection with this switch. And you just run 2 wires over. You can drill a hole here, mount your bracket here in your cup holder. That's where I did. But you can put a switch anywhere you want, and then run those wires inside and down into here. And then I'll tell you how to. So I went ahead and pulled the brackets out to hold the battery. And then we can look down inside here. I'm going to take this screw out just so I can show you guys what it's all about. This is the screw that holds your relay. So take that out so you can see what's happening. Now we got that relay loose, and we'll lift it up here if I can get it loose. All right. Sorry, I'm not as good as most of them guys on YouTube. Give this old man some credit though, he can figure stuff out. So there's the green and there's the orange that come up from this wire lead, and that goes back to the original switch. So you're gonna take and unplug those from the bottom of the relay. And if you look at the relay, if I can get this loose, man, this is not easy, hold on. All right, I'm going to try again. I got the relay turned facing up. You'll see those yellow connectors that I use. There's 2 of them there. One's I put it on a red wire, and the other one I put it on a black wire. So the one on the right, this is going to record upside down, I don't know. But there's a red one and a black one. The black is always going to be your ground. And you can follow that ground all the way up, and you're going to make a connector so that you can screw it right here to your chassis. That's your black wire. Okay, from the right side there, you plug it in, and right here you'll bolt it on. Now the other wire is the red one, and you're going to make another slip-on connector there, and that wire is going to go all the way over to your switch. And then from the switch, it's going to come back, and I wired it right into the original harness here, and it comes out and comes over here. Hold on. And so now it's on here. So I got an extra wire here. So you're going to have this wire, if you follow it, it goes back to the switch. The other side of the switch comes back to the relay. You see? Now you've got, when you connect, make the push button connect, That will energize the battery, whether you're pushing the switch up here or not. If you can push this switch all day long, it don't matter. You could push that other switch all day long, it isn't going to start. You still need this circuit to turn on all your safeties and say it's okay, and you watch that hour meter, and as soon as that shows up, then it's okay to push the button to start it. I hope you understand that. Other than that, I'm just going to have to make another video. So I got my relay bolted back in. You have to slide this end in and then put the bolt in. Everything's all put back the way it is, the way it's supposed to be. You can see those two wires that I disconnected from the relay and then put my own wires on it. I found a way under the fender here. You can see where my two wires are, where I drilled a hole and pulled it through there and then drilled another hole and went up into the bottom of the cup holder. You want to use some pretty heavy gauge wire so that you're going to be pulling some amps to make that starter crank over, but that's the way I did it. All right, so I got a battery hooked on here. Let me go through this one more time for you, because I know I'm a slow learner myself. I only added this one wire going to the positive. That's the only thing I hooked to the battery. The ground wire, that's all original. The other ground that I hooked to the relay is hooked into the frame with that screw, and it has a spade plug that plugs into the bottom of the relay. The other plugged in part of the relay goes over to the switch, and coming back from the switch goes to the battery. Boy, I hope I did that and explained that right. If you did it right and you push this button, you can push that all day long, but you still have to push the original button and hold it down till you see the lights light up. So you'll see them, that little hourglass on the left. I'm not sitting on the seat, so I'm getting an error. But that's what you got to do. You got to hold that down, just like you were trying to start it, but it isn't because you disconnected it. Now this starter switch will work. There's supposed to be a rubber piece on there. It's wore off and I've never changed it. So good luck, guys. Have a good one. Michiana Fisherman signing out. I can show you one other way if you don't want to mess with that relay. This is your starter on this side of the tractor right here. Hold on. This ain't easy. I'm gonna have to change this one up. There it is. So there's your starter. You see right here, I put a wire onto this bolt for the ground. I run another wire onto the starter right where the original wire was fed. And I run both of them wires up here onto some lugs on the dash. Let's see if I get it. There it is. Got two places right here to put a set of jumper cables. Now there's no switch involved, and I can show you what I did about that. If you think it's easy for me to do one of these videos, it's not. I get distractions a lot around my house. It's either the grandson or the dog or the wife or somebody, but somebody's always trying to mess up my videos. Yep. All right, if you got one of these, here's what you do. You can hook one to one lug that you put on. Hold on. Hook one to the negative, hook the other one to the positive. I need a cameraman bad. Then all you do is you can turn this on, lights come on, and when you hit start, then you pull the connection. But you got to be holding the button down at the same time you're doing all that. That's why I went ahead and started it with the right into the same old relay. But I did it this way for a while until I got tired of it.